Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. So today is chicken butchering day. We actually are not at the farm right now. We are over at Dad's farm. We're going to be doing the butchering over here. It has been super dry for like the last month, at least the last month. And of course, it's raining this morning. But all my cisterns are just about empty, and you need a lot of water for the chicken processing. So we went ahead and we loaded up the birds. They are in the back of the truck right now. In that we put them in a big box and we covered up in a tarp because it is raining a little bit this morning. But the birds are all in the back of the truck, and we are just getting set up with our butchering stations and stuff. So we will get the rest of that set up, and I will catch up with you guys here in a little bit. So here is our setup this morning. We have our restraining killing cones going on over here. Then we're kind of going to work in a circle. We'll go to our scalding pot. Then we'll come over here to our defeathering station, and then we'll continue to work our way around here. And then this will be our butchering table. We'll go from our butchering table. This is where we will we'll get everything gutted, and then we're going to go into a cooler with a bunch of ice to start getting them cooled down before, at the end, right over here, I have got our shrink wrap bags that they will go into once they're cooled down, and then they'll go into the deep freezer. So full disclosure, none of us have done this before. We are going all off of information found on YouTube University. So I probably am not going to film the first couple because I'm going to try to get it figured out a little bit. But yeah, we'll definitely show you guys what's going on here in a minute. So I'm over here running the calling station, and then I am scalding and going to the plucker. Taylor's helping me with that. Dad's over there. Well, then we're going to the butchering table. Mom's grabbing any feathers that are left, getting those plucked out, and then Dad is doing the eviscerating / gutting. We got a couple of them done. It's sort of looks working like a well-oiled machine. So we dunk, and then we're checking. The big mane feathers aren't quite coming out easy. We're going to give her a couple more dunks. Well, him in this case. We're going to give him a couple more dunks. And then we'll go to the plucker. Now she just goes into the plucker. Got to make sure we keep rinsing the feathers out. This only takes about 15 to 20 seconds. And they come out pretty well plucked. You know, a few tail feathers still left, maybe a couple hide up under the wings, but it really does a great job. This is a Yardbird brand, the 1.5 horsepower. So I don't know that this is like the comprehensive video. It definitely isn't a how-to, but maybe this is a if I can do it, you can do it kind of thing, because we've never done this before. We're making lots of mistakes, but we're learning as we're going. They're getting better each time. We're constantly, you know, we have our butchering table here. We're kind of trying to constantly keep everything getting rinsed off to make sure that we're staying clean and sanitary. Got a couple of junk buckets where feet and insides are ending up. So it's all hands on deck over here on the butchering table, getting caught back up, and then we'll start culling our next set of birds, getting them through the scalder and through the defeatherer. Well, we're working through them pretty fast. I think we got about 6 of them done or so in, I don't know, less than an hour for sure. But we're picking up some speed as we go. So we're getting down to our last couple of birds. It's been kind of tough getting the camera out because everybody is all covered in bird. But we're getting down to our last few. We've got them chilling down in the cooler over here. So once we get them cooled down, they'll eventually move to the freezer, but we want to get them cooled down first so we're not adding that big old mass of warm into the freezer. And if they initially went in there, you know, they probably thaw everything else out that was in there. So we're probably going to wrap this up and then I'll jump back on the camera when we're all cleaned up, and we'll go over how it went. So we've gotten the bulk of our cleanup done. We got through all 15 birds. They are all in this cooler. So we are gonna let them cool down in there for the next hour or so, and then we're gonna take a break a little bit. That was a lot of work. We're gonna come back out and we are gonna use some shrink wrap bags, and we are gonna get them shrink wrapped in the plastic, and then that's how they will get stored in the freezer. So we will show you guys how that process works as well, just here in a couple minutes. So we've set up the final station. Our birds are all nice and cool in the cooler here. So we'll be putting them into our shrink wrap bags. We'll give them a dunk in the water. They're only in the water about 5 seconds. And they will just do their own thing. They will shrink wrap right around the birds, and they'll be ready for the freezer. So it's been a couple of days. I am back in the barn. We have all the birds here in the deep freezer. So everything is frozen solid. Gave a couple of them away. Mom and Dad got one. My brother and sister-in-law, they're gonna get one. So some meat is gonna go out to the family. So if you had a quick eye, yes, you did not count all 15 of them. They're in the deep freeze. Just to wrap everything up real quick, it took us about 2 hours to do all of the processing, a little over 2 hours to cull all of the birds, defeather them, and get them all gutted and prepped. And then they went into that cooler. That took about 2 hours. Then we waited about an hour, hour and a half for them to cool down. And then it took us about another 30 or 40 minutes to get them all shrink wrapped. So it was somewhere between 2.5 and 3 hours total, probably a little closer to 3 hours total, that we had invested into getting all 15 of the birds completely prepped and into the freezer. I did not weigh every single bird, but I did put a couple of the smaller ones on a scale and then a couple of the bigger ones on the scale just to kind of get an idea of what the smallest and the biggest ones weighs. The smallest one that I weighed was just over 4 pounds, about 4 pounds, 4 ounces. And the biggest one I weighed was just over 7 pounds. It was about 7 pounds, 3 and some change ounces. So didn't do any sort of like, at this point, I haven't done any like cost analysis to figure out what like the per pound and everything would be. I do plan on doing all of that at some point, but it's not going to be for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was I don't want to say it was a hard day, but it was a little bit, there was a little bit of stress involved. It was something new. None of us had ever done it before. I think I've said that a couple of times already. So it was something new for all of us. A big learning experience. Next time we do it, there's definitely a few things that we'll do different. I wouldn't do such a small number of birds again. I think, you know, the coop that we did, the chicken tractor we did, will hold up to 25. And I would say that you probably should just go ahead and do the full 25. I did 15 thinking we're just trying it out. And I mean, it made sense what I did, but in hindsight, I should have done all 25 because it wouldn't have been that much extra labor. There was a lot of labor in just the setup and the prep. So if you're going to do all of that setup and prep, you may as well go ahead and do the full number of birds. But hindsight, you know, 2020. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video before I ramble on anymore. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more farm content. And until next time, y'all, we will see you.